Leaders from various sectors have gathered near Winterton in the Drakensberg to discuss issues affecting the country. They're taking part in the Drakensberg Inclusive Growth Forum hosted by the Kgalema Motlanthe Foundation. ENCA reporter Heidi Jakas is there and joins me live from Winterton. Morning, Heidi. Can you tell us what's on the program for today?
Morning, Annelie. I must say that it's a really beautiful day here in the Drakensberg, and it's the second day of the Inclusive Growth Forum hosted by the Kgalema Motlanthe Foundation. It kicked off yesterday where you had lots of speakers, including Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan, former Deputy Finance Minister Mcebisi Jonas, just speaking about how we can grow the economy, how we can deal with the various challenges facing the economy, and of course Public Enterprises Minister speaking to the fact that SOEs are in big trouble, but they're trying to deal with the challenges. Today is a jam-packed day. We can expect a panel speaking to Building South Africa, Economic Building Blocks and Solutions, and on that panel will be former Minister of Public Enterprises, Alec Owen, who will speak to Eskom, Minister Toko Didiza, speaking to Agriculture and Rural Development. We do understand that Minister Ibrahim Patel for Economic Development is expected to speak, but we're not exactly sure. And then also a very interesting panel will speak to youth education and freedom, where we will see EFF and Mbuyiseni Ndlozi being there, as well as Minister Ronald Lamula. So today is going to be a very jam-packed day. Also, the fourth industrial revolution will be touched on, and the challenges that South Africa faces when it comes to the fourth industrial revolution. So stay tuned to ENCA because lots and lots of updates around the second day of the Inclusive Growth by the Kgalema Motlanthe Foundation.
Heidi, tell us a little bit more about what came out of yesterday's discussions.
So we had a long, in-depth conversation with former President Kgalema Motlanthe around the reasons as to why this Inclusive Growth Forum takes place. It's the second one that's taking place. The first one kicked off last year. And of course, seeing as it was a successful forum, they've decided to host the second one. But we also got an opportunity to speak to the former President about the various issues facing South Africa, specifically around economic challenges, speaking to Finance Minister Tito Mbowene's economic policy paper and the various backlash around that. And he had some very interesting views around that. Let's listen to what he had to say about that.
The mere reaction and response to the paper that he tabled is indicative of the nature of the problem. That we can't wait for consensus to obtain before new thinking is introduced. In other words, the immune system of our comfort zones tends to fight back against any new thinking. And it's a contradiction in itself that you expect consensus around critical issues without those critical issues being ventilated in public. It's a strange way of thinking, because we don't know what you think about certain issues until you verbalize what you think. We are not mind readers, as it were. So the the act of wrapping your head around critical challenges and making a proposition is itself a laudable act in my book. It's not something to be discouraged, because you see, we can suffer from self-censorship actually.
Heidi, so lots of important discussions taking place yesterday, and many more to come today. And we know that the point is for thought leaders to map out solutions. But what kind of mandate do they have to implement those solutions once they are once they're discussed?
Very good question, Annelie, because that is actually a question that I posed to various guests yesterday about what exactly is going to happen after this Inclusive Growth Forum, because it's one thing to have lots of leaders and ministers and business leaders coming in to discuss various solutions, but what happens when it comes to the action plan and the implementation? And this is actually something that we asked to the former President Kgalema Motlanthe. what is actually going to happen after this Inclusive Growth Forum. And the idea is that these ideas and solutions will be taken to the various stakeholders and hopefully implemented thereafter. One can only hope, and actually this is one of the themes that one wants to get out of this Inclusive Growth Forum about, making sure that hope is instilled, because South Africans want action now. It's one thing to talk about ideas, but action needs to take place now. And this is something that the Inclusive Growth Forum is hoping to achieve by the end of Sunday.
Right, thank you very much for that update. Heidi Jokos coming to us from the Drakensberg at the Drakensberg Inclusive Growth Forum hosted by the Kgalema Motlanthe Foundation. We'll catch up with her throughout the day to see how those discussions progress.